Okay. So what is the impulse input here, by the way? X of n equal to 1 plus 2, 1 and 2 and 1. Now see here, what is this particular thing 1? Okay, will somebody tell me what is this particular thing 1? Don't you think it also looks like an impulse, by the way? This 1 here is also an impulse, but what is it? It is there at location -1. So can I tell that this X of n is a sum of, see, the first term, whatever I have, is nothing but an impulse, but it is there at -1. So I would say this is delta n plus 1. It is an impulse, but unfortunately, it is shifted by one location to the left side. So that is why it is delta n plus 1. Now let us see this particular thing only. What do you think this is? Do you think this resembles an impulse, by the way? And what is the difference?
No,
This,
sir, it doesn't represent impulse.
Does it? Is there any similarity? See, this is 0.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the x0, this is having an amplitude of 2. What is an impulse, by the way? Impulse at 0 is having an amplitude of 1. So
1.
does this thing resemble an impulse, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Yes, but what is the difference?
It has amplitude of 2.
Amplitude of 2. That's why
Yes, I would call this
it is
as 2
different.
into delta n. Okay, 2 into delta n. It is an impulse, but amplitude scaled by factor 2. This was also an impulse. This was also an impulse, but it was shifted by factor 1 to the left side. Now, what about this third term, by the way? What about this third term here? Does it resemble an impulse? This also resembles an impulse, but then
Yes.
it is an impulse shifted to the right side by 1 unit. Okay. Okay. Now, what I have done here is I have represented this signal x of n in terms of shifted and scaled impulses. Okay. Are we cool? Are we cool? So what I have done is I have represented this x of n in terms of shifted and scaled impulses. Sum of, so let me say this x of n is weighted superposition of, why the term superposition? Plus, right? I have superimposed 2 to 3 signals, which are weighted superposition. See the weight, see here. Here the weight is 1, here the weight is 1, here the weight is 2. Okay. Weighted superposition of shifted, you can see +1, -1, shifted and scaled impulses. Okay. So now do you agree that any kind of signal can be represented? Whatever may be the signal, now whatever may be the signal, some random signal, not random, deterministic, but if at all you know the values, it can be represented in terms of shifted and scaled impulses. Okay. It can be represented in terms of shifted and scaled impulses. Okay. What can we do with it, by the way? What can we do with it? Now, remember that linearity thing, by the way. Remember that linearity. What did it say? A1 x1 of n plus A2 x2 of n, right? A1 x1 of n, if at all you give input as A1 x1 of n and A2 x2 of n plus A2 x2 of n, I shall get the output as A1 y1 of n and A2 y2 of n. Okay. Now let us keep that in mind and let us go to next slide. Let us keep that thing in mind and let us try to find the solution here. This is the impulse response. Fine. This is the impulse response. Fine. Now what we'll do is, we will try and find the output due to individual of these. Now see, what we'll do is we'll try to find the output because of this, and because of this. I know for a delta n, this is my output. What I will do is now I will try to find output due to delta n plus 1. I will try to find output due to delta n minus 1. And also I will try to find output due to delta 2 into delta n. Okay. So how do I do it? Let us take this particular thing. Okay. Now, what is my assumption, by the way? I assume that this particular system H is linear and time invariant. Okay. The first assumption that I'm making is that my system H is linear and time invariant. So what does time invariance mean, by the way? Shift in the input causes shift in the output. Now somebody tell me, if at all, instead of delta n, say I have delta n plus 1 and say the system is time invariant, what's going to happen to my output? System is same. What's going to happen to my output? Will somebody tell me? In place of delta n, I have delta n plus 1. For input as delta n, my output starts from 0 onwards and it goes till 3. If at all my input is an impulse, but it starts at -1, what's going to happen to my output? What's going to happen to my output? Somebody, I'm waiting for an answer. What's going to happen to my output? Input at 0 results in an output which is starting from 0. Now my input is starting at, say, delta n my n plus 1. What does it mean? Where does it start? Where is that impulse? Delta n plus 1 means where is that impulse? It is at -1, right?
-1.
Now it is starting at -1. So what's going to happen to the resulting output? It's a time invariant system. It's a time invariant system. You go 15 minutes late to the theater, movie is going to start after 15 minutes. If you go 15 minutes early to the theater, the movie is going to start 15 minutes early. That's the assumption. Now say, instead of 0, say I give the same input, but you start it at -1. What's going to happen to the output? What's going to happen to the output? Somebody? Any guesses? Somebody? Any guesses?
It will remain the same.
No. Input at 0 was resulting in output starting from 0. Now, since your input starts from -1, your output will also be dragged by 1 unit to the left side. Time invariance, right? You shift the input, output will also be shifted, right? You see here, input is shifted by 1 location to the left side. The output will also be shifted by 1 unit to the left side. Okay, because this is a time invariant system. Okay, are we cool? So this is a time invariant system. If at all in place of delta n minus plus 1, if at all I have delta n minus 1, can you guess what's going to happen?
You start from 1.
It starts from +1, right? It starts from +1. Okay. So what I have done is, now my input had 3 values, right? It had delta n plus 1, 2 into delta n, and a delta n minus 1. So what I have done is, output due to my first impulse, which was impulse on the left side, my output is also the corresponding output only due to this particular impulse. Is this okay? Now let us see what's going to happen to the second thing. Now see here, what was my second input? It was also delta n, but it was scaled by factor 2, amplitude scaled by factor 2. So what's going to happen to the corresponding output here, by the way? The corresponding output is also going to scale by factor 2. Location is intact. This is also starting from 0 only, but every amplitude, you can see, every amplitude has been multiplied by factor 2. Okay, every amplitude has been multiplied by factor 2. Okay, now similarly, okay, yes or no, somebody getting following
Yes,
this
sir.
thing? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now on the same grounds, if at all I take, what was the next one, by the way? What is the next one? Delta n minus 1, right? Now see,
-1.
so my input was 1 to 1, right? It was given as 1 to 1 with an arrow. Okay. So what I did was, I knew the impulse response. So I represented this entire input in terms of impulses only, the shifted and the scaled impulses. Okay. Then shifted impulse results in an output. So shifted impulse resulted in shifted output. Scaled impulse resulted in scaled output. Then afterwards, the linearity. What did the linearity say? A1 x1 of n plus A2 x2 of n plus A3 x of n, A3 x3 of n would give you A1 y1 of n plus A2 y2 of n plus A3 y3 of n, right? This is my time invariant. Okay, what is this particular thing? X of t minus t1, x of n minus n naught will give you y of n minus n naught, right? So this was a shifted input giving you shifted impulse response, scaled input giving you scaled impulse response. Then finally, what I did was superposition theorem, A1 x1 of n plus A2 x of n gave you a1 y1 of n plus a2 y2 of n plus a3 y3 of n. I added all these. See here at -1, we had 2. Then afterwards, 1 plus 4 plus 0, 5. Then afterwards, 2 plus 1 plus 2, 5. 2 plus 1 plus -1 are 2. Then afterwards, -2 plus 1, -1, -1. Okay, got this particular thing. So this is my output for this particular input. And what was the one thing that I knew? I only knew the impulse response, and I could get this particular output. Are you convinced here? By the way, what did we use? We used
Yes,
the fact
sir.
that the system is time invariant, and also we use the fact that the system is linear. Okay, so time invariance was used here to shift the impulse response to the left side, shift the impulse response to the right side. Then afterwards, linearity was used in two places: a1 x1 of n giving you a1 y1 of n. Then afterwards, a1 x1 of n plus a2 x2 of n plus a3 x. So the weighted superposition, right? That particular linearity, right? The summation thing, individual outputs getting added up, right? See, that was used here. And finally, we could get the output. Okay, finally, we could get the output. So this entire process, whatever we have done now, the entire process is collectively called as linear convolution. And it is simply represented as x of n convolved with a star, convolved with h of n. Okay. What is the method, by the way? See, x1 of n multiplied by h of n. You know the method, right? This is the representation. This is the method. Okay. Whatever we saw just now, it was the method. Okay. Got this particular thing. The process is called as linear convolution. So now will somebody please tell me, with linear convolution, this operator, what can we do? Would somebody tell me, with linear convolution operator, what can we do?